Thank you all for joining us today as we honor Archabbot Douglas Nowicki with the Community Caritas Award. It is providential that this Sunday is Pentecost, a time of renewal and hope, a time for us to remember how important it is to welcome the Holy Spirit into our hearts. I hope you had an opportunity to read this week's mission story and the message of hope that also focuses on healing and overcoming obstacles. Who better to receive the Caritas Award than Archabbot Douglas Nowicki? I leave you with his words when addressing an annual meeting with the Benedictine monks in 2010 when he said, and I quote, "By embracing the mission of Christ in our lives and in our apostolates, we offer people what they need most today: hope." How true this is for all of us. I now introduce you to Becky and Tom McGuff, this year's Hope from Home Executive Leadership Team chairs.
Thank you, Bishop. The Right Reverend Douglas Robert Nowicki served as the Archabbot of St. Vincent Benedictine Archabbey and Chancellor of St. Vincent College for nearly 20 years, until he stepped down last year. Those resume entries don't begin, though, to capture the essence of Archabbot Douglas. Becky and I have known Archabbot Douglas for nearly 15 years. We have never encountered anyone who knows him well, anyone who hasn't been moved, uplifted, and inspired by him. It comes as no surprise that he was a colleague and consultant to Fred Rogers. He has that same penetrating insight into human nature, that same calming influence, that same open curiosity about people, and that same deep faith as our legendary Mr. Rogers did. It's entirely fitting and predictable that the Fred M. Rogers Center for Early Learning and Children's Media is now located at St. Vincent's College. Apparently, when you become an Archabbot, you get to design your own coat of arms. That's a pretty good deal. Archabbot Douglas's combines elements of his Archabbey's crest with a telling inscription: Cor ad cor loquitur. Heart speaks to heart. Exactly. Bishop Zubik, the board and staff of Catholic Charities, the Hope from Home Executive Leadership Team, Becky and I were really looking forward to presenting Archabbot Douglas with his well-deserved Community Caritas Award. But he has gone to Florida to help a clerical colleague who recently broke his arm. That actually says it all. We are blessed, however, to have a video message from him in honor of the occasion. Archabbot Douglas.
Hello, I'm Archabbot Douglas Nowicki, the retired but not tired Archabbot of St. Vincent in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Latrobe, as you know, is the hometown of Fred Rogers and Arnie Palmer, two of our great American citizens who have given their lives as models, their accessibility, they're wonderful role models for all of us. We have a college and a seminary there that responds to needs throughout the world. And I want to begin by expressing my gratitude to Bishop Zubik of the Diocese of Pittsburgh, along with Becky and Tom McGuff, chairs of this year's capital campaign for the Catholic Charities, in their efforts to reach out, particularly this year, to those whose lives have been afflicted by the pandemic. As we gather together to reflect upon the importance of this event in our lives, we're all grateful for the wonderful response on part of Catholic Charities to those whose lives have been impaired or impacted by the coronavirus. And while we're gathered here, I want to express a special word of gratitude to all of the first responders, to the doctors, to the nurses, to the medical staff in our hospitals and our communities, who each day give their lives out in the forefront in responding to the needs of those whose lives have been afflicted by the coronavirus. It's the responsibility of each one of us to assist them in that effort. Mother Teresa, this wonderful portrait here that was painted by Veronica Ruiz de Velasco, Mexican-born artist who is one of the great artists of the world, reminds us through this portrait of the words of Mother Teresa. She said, if you can't feed 100, feed one. Whatever capacity you have to give in response to the need that faces our country, our community, and our world, I ask you to be as generous as you can. Think about what you can give to support the efforts of Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Pittsburgh to reach out, to respond to those families who've lost loved ones, those who've lost their jobs, who are desperately in need of your support and of your care. I make a special appeal to you, the senior citizens. Know that you're in our prayers. You've been isolated now for well over a year as you are afflicted by the restrictions put on by the government in order to respond to the need of the pandemic. But again, I ask each one of you to give your thoughts as to how you can best respond to this need. Each one of us has a role to play depending upon our ability to support in whatever way we can. So again, I think about the other Saint Therese of Avila, the great 16th century Carmelite mystic, who once said, you are God's hands, you are God's eyes, you are God's feet, you are God's mouthpiece. Please respond in the best way that you can to help this community, to help the Catholic Diocese of Pittsburgh, the Catholic Charities of the Diocese, to reach out and to respond to those most in need. So again, I thank you for your generosity. I thank all of those who support this effort. And again, I assure all of you of my continued prayers for you now and in the years to come. God's blessings be with you.